Broadcasting, the station of unlimited possibilities, presents Creating Your Seat at the Table with your host, Ashley Little, as she welcomes her guest to the table.
Welcome to Creating Your Seat at the Table. I am your host, Ashley Little. A little bit about myself: corporate professional by day, entrepreneur by night, 5-time best-selling author, CEO and founder of Ashley Little Enterprises, LLC, owner and creator of Creative Broadcasting, and co-founder and owner of Talk Radio and TV Network, LLP. So tonight I have an amazing special VIP guest by the name of Qiana Cressman. A little bit about her. Qiana is an empowerment speaker, ordained minister, humanitarian, and media strategist, known for founding Emerge Woman Magazine. Emerge Woman Magazine is the premier multi-generational personal and business development magazine for women. Cressman also passionately serves as a national spokesperson and advocacy leader for the Sickle Cell Disease Association of America. Emerge Women Magazine is a biannual publication designed exclusively by women and for women. Committed to being a voice of hope and transformation for this generation, Cressman and her team have crafted the magazine to reach women with empowering and inspirational articles covering a wide range of topics, including business, lifestyle, and faith. The publication also highlights everyday women across the country who are social change makers, influencers, or have overcome difficult odds in diverse industries, professions, and walks of life. Welcome to the table, Qiana Cressman.
Thank you. Wow. Thank you for the introduction, Ashley.
You are welcome. Well, I'm excited to have you at the table to share your wisdom and knowledge with my listeners. So please tell us more about your entrepreneurial journey.
Well, actually, like most entrepreneurs, it came out of a need for what I saw was lacking in the market. And I know that you can't build a business or start a business endeavor just on a need. It has to be a viable need that people, or demand there that people will actually want to buy into and, feel is important. But it came out of my story, out of basically holding the best and truest parts of myself back, letting a little bit of light out, but being too afraid that I was going to step on toes or that I was going to be too much or not enough. And so once I embraced all of who God created me to be, he literally put in my heart to create a publication that would, as soon as women saw the name, would call them into that same place. And it was called Emerge. It's called Emerge Woman Magazine. So I never have to describe what it's about. As soon as women see it, the name, it doesn't matter their race, their age, generation, it speaks right to them and to their heart, to call them out into being, the best version and best expression of who they're created to be. So that's sort of how my entrepreneurial journey began, and that publication was designed to empower women in that way.
I love it. So you are very passionate, Qiana, about being a voice of hope and transformation for this generation. So please tell us more about your passion. Let's talk more about that.
Yes. I feel like, particularly as women, one of the things that is hardest for us to do sometimes is really share our voice. And, we can talk to each other, but when it comes to our gifts, our strengths, we almost feel like we're being selfish or self-centered or narcissistic to be the unique voice that we're meant to be in whatever our domain is or whatever our sphere of influence is. So just like we all have fingerprints, everybody in the world has fingerprints, but no one person's fingerprints are identical to another. So really, the platform of this magazine, is hundreds of magazines out there, but it's a unique print that Emerge has, that women specifically need. And so that's what we do in my calling to be a voice of hope, is to inspire other women to share their voice or their unique print. So, yes, you may have a print and another woman may have a print, but mine is not yours, Ashley, and yours is not mine. So I look forward to benefiting from the gift of your print and you benefiting from mine, my unique mark in the world as well. And so Emerge has women from all across the country, all, different backgrounds and walks of life, how they got to the pinnacle of success and some of the things that they overcame to get there. So that's why I'm very passionate about being a voice of hope, because it helps women to embrace all of who they are and walk walk it out to live their purpose. And so that's a part of why I'm called to be that voice of hope, because many times we hold that back.
And thank you for creating this space, Qiana, shedding light on us women and how we can support each other and be our sister's keeper, and pretty much, showcasing that we all can win, right? There is not a competition that we all can win. So speaking of that, what is your definition and what are your thoughts on collaboration over competition?
Oh, I love that. Great question, Ashley. Mm-hmm. My thing is, like I said, everybody has a unique print. And collaboration is I bring the best of me and you bring the best of you, and we eliminate all the weaknesses. Because my strengths are not your strengths, and your strengths may not be my strengths. So when we combine them together, then there is no weaknesses there. And so when we compete instead of collaborate, what we do is we leave the weaknesses there, and so we miss out on the benefit of greater impact. And so I feel like when we collaborate and we work together, we maximize our impact. One can put 1,000 to flight, two can put 10,000. So imagine what we can do when we have a collaborative mindset of joining our strengths together and eliminating the weaknesses there. And so it excites me to see other women and their gifts. So you and your media platform, thank you for having me. It excites me to celebrate other women and see them shine and be comfortable in the skin that they're in. And so naturally, honestly, I really am blessed in terms of that being a part of my natural wiring. I've always been excited about collaborating, excited about learning about people's strengths and how, we can work together. And so I feel like competition is really meant, unless you're in athletics or some kind of sport or some kind of competitive, game of sorts, I feel like competition should really be with yourself. What goals do you have to achieve, and how can you continue to grow in excellence to exceed your own best, performance? And so I've always just looked at my lane and what my purpose is and how that purpose is supposed to bless the lives of others, and I've competed with that. I don't really spend time focusing on what other people are doing unless it's how I can impact their lives in a positive way. I compete with my own best performance and what did I do last year that now is, the next step for me this year. So that's really how I stay focused and collaborate versus, compete with people and emerge. The reason we have so many different women and voices in there is to really help women be comfortable with celebrating the gifts and what other women bring to the table, and knowing that it doesn't take away anything from who you are. And so that's why, I'm so excited about the different generations and ages that we have in the publication.
I love that. And thank you for, shining light more on that, because we all can really win at the end of the day, and being able to help each other is the key, right? Being able to serve, be happy, right?
Yes.
Celebrate each other. This is so important, because it's not taken away from nobody to celebrate another woman, right? We all are winning at the same time when we celebrate each other. So
that is so true.
So, Qiana, how can women be featured in your magazine? What's the process for these listeners that are looking to see how they can be a part of it, or what opportunities you may have for them to be a part?
Absolutely, Ashley. They can go to emergewomanmagazine.com, www.emergewomanmagazine.com. Click on the top right-hand side of the website on submissions. All of our submission guidelines are there, what we're looking for in submissions, what we're looking for in topics, what our themes are for our publication. And you can enter your information in and click submit, and we will get back to you. You'll get an automatic response that within 4 to 6 weeks or sooner, we will get back to you. And as you mentioned, the publication is biannual. So, please, we feature women on our blog as well as in our magazine. So if you reach out to us, we'll give you more specifics there. Just click that submission button once you submit your information.
Awesome. For our listeners that are listening, definitely go visit the website and like she stated, and submit your application to see, how you can be a part and the opportunities. And like she stated, she will follow back up with you. So, Qiana, thank you for getting this space once again. So you are a media strategist, right? So you're in the media very heavy. So what is some advice you would give to listeners who are either aspiring to grow in the media industry or who are already in the media industry and they're looking to create their own magazine of some sort?
Wonderful. I think that you don't have to overcomplicate it. This is like the world, and now I'm not advocating just Google your way to everything. Get training, get a coach, get feedback, because it'll save you time and money and give you strategy that will help you get results. We don't, time is too precious. We can't get it again. So you don't want to waste your time. But in terms of getting into media and publishing, if that's something that you want to do, I would recommend getting into networks and into groups where you can educate yourself, find out what your niche is, what the topic is there a demand for information in that area, and then align yourself. A lot of times you'll see creatives, whether they're a photographer, they may want to start a publication to highlight their work because you can show the creativity of your work. Or if you're a transformation specialist or a coach or a speaker, what are the topics that you speak around? So having a platform begins with having a message that resonates with an audience. And so once Emerge was out there, when I first put the flyer out and I was on a radio show announcing the magazine was coming, Women Went Bananas. I hadn't even released the magazine yet, and I was getting calls from all across the country, not calls, but emails through Facebook, through our Emerge website, of women who were like, we really need this. And so my audience began to show me, wow, there is a gap for this particular voice that needs to be filled where women are concerned, and particularly for women of color. A lot of our audience just love to see waves of women in color on the cover and, hear their stories about how they overcame, how they got to the success that they were at. And so while it's a multi-ethnic magazine, we started out primarily with women of color on the cover, business women, because you see us a lot in entertainment and fashion, but it was on my heart to also show the business side of Black women and show that we are running companies, that we are, seated at the table in C-level roles. And so I wanted to put that imagery of women, different shapes, sizes, all of that on the cover of Emerge. So if you want to get into publishing, media, what is your message? And so work with the coach to narrow down what your message is, and then you can begin building a platform around that.
I love that. So our listeners, if you're, definitely write these nuggets down that Qiana is sharing. If you're looking at aspiring to grow in the media or develop your own magazines, like she said, it's not hard. It's just about being passionate about what you wanted to do, right? And
right.
What you want to do. That's the key, right? That's so important.
It is. It's so important. You got to have the passion, because passion, some people will say, you don't need passion, and purpose is talk is just rhetoric. But what happens is typically sometimes we'll go after the purpose but don't have a strategy. So, or we'll have passion but we don't have strategy and a viable idea. So make sure your passion aligns with something that people actually want to pay for, that is a viable business, a viable service, that's tested. And it takes time to get to that place. But you need passion, because passion is what keeps you through the rough times. When I launched Emerge, a lot of people don't know this, but the day after we launched the first issue, my editor-in-chief was diagnosed with stage 3 cancer. If I didn't have passion behind this project, we would have never made it. We would have never made it to the next issue and the next issue. My husband went through surgeries through publication. And as you mentioned, Ashley, we share a lot in common, a corporate professional by day and an entrepreneur by night. So still having, responsibilities of a day job, publishing, and all of those things going on, you have to absolutely know that this is a part of your purpose and passion in order to keep moving forward.
Yes, you're right, because having a 9-to-5 and doing it as an entrepreneur by night, that you got to be passionate to do both, okay?
Yes. Absolutely.
I love it. Thank you for sharing that. And so,
You're so welcome.
Serving is so important. A lot of people have to realize that too in order to get to the next level. And, we have to learn to embrace that we have to serve first and help others and give to others. And when we do that, it opens up more opportunities for yourself, right? So why is serving so important?
Serving is so important, I believe personally, that we were created to. And so when we serve others, it not only helps us to grow, but it helps others to be, the best that they can be. And I feel like a staple for my life is let the greatest amongst them be your servant. Why? Because the person who has a heart to serve will always not only create impact, but help others to be impactful and help others and influence others in a way that will help others be their best. And rise to their highest potential when you have a serve mindset versus a self-centered or self-absorbed mindset. How can I, be a vessel and help and support someone else? How can I, like for instance, before I was publishing, I was serving other people's visions and writing for women's blogs. I didn't know that I was going to start a best-selling publication one day that would put me on all kinds of media platforms and open so many doors. God would use to open so many doors, and it would bless women internationally as well. But it began with doing the newsletter at my church 25 years ago. It began with, being published in the industry that I work in, to create a knowledge base in my industry to educate other professionals. It began with doing blogs and all kinds of other things that I did just because I love encouraging women to reach their highest potential. And so little did I know that eventually that would become a part of my destiny and being a publisher. So, and I didn't, and I wasn't paid for a lot of those roles. And then once Emerge started and it became a bestseller and it was very successful, I realized, wow, all of those moments and opportunities of service were ordering my steps to this very moment and preparing me for this very moment. So never underestimate the importance and ability of serving, because you also discover who you are in those times of service and what you're really passionate about and what your purpose is when you're willing to do things that would you do it if you weren't getting paid to do it. And so that's where I realized my love for using media as a means to encourage, inspire, transform, inspire people to rise to their highest potential. I realized that through how I served year after year after year, way before I even knew it was a part of God's plan for my life to launch a magazine.
And I love how you said that you work for other people, like you serve with other people, you wrote blogs,
yes,
contributing writer, things like that to help other people as well before you even knew, right? So that's why for
yes,
people that are listening, it's so important to serve. It's just so important to do that because that opens up so many other opportunities and doors for you where we all continue to win. And when we learn to serve, life will be much better, right? To serve. It's part of the process. Yes. So, Qiana, you have built multiple seats at the table for yourself. You built your own tables. So I ask all of my guests this question. How did you create your seat at the table?
I'm sorry, say that one more time. How did I build? What did you say?
How did you create your seat at the table?
Well, I basically was just excellent at what I was doing, and it opened some opportunities. So I can't take credit for being the gift giver. It's the gift that God gave me, and I walked in excellence in that gift, and it opened the door. So your gift will make room for you when you walk in excellence. And so walking in excellence and being outstanding in what I do created seats at the table for me. And so to be, it's an honor to be on your show. A lot of the publications that I'm in, a lot of the media outlets that have interviewed me, I didn't seek any of those out. They saw my magazine, they saw the excellence, they saw, me as a businesswoman, and, sought to hear from me in the knowledge of how I got to inspiring women and why I'm passionate about seeing women rise to their highest potential. So my seat at the table was created just by being great at what I do. And so that's why you never have to compete, compare, because everybody is great at something. And so my thing may not be your thing and your thing may not be my thing, but just be exceptional. Just be the best at what you do, and that's going to create a space for you in itself, because excellence always stands out. Excellence always makes a mark. Excellence is always memorable. And so that is what created a seat at the table for me, being excellent at what I'm doing.
Yes, being excellent, walking in excellence, that is so, so, so important. So what did failure teach you on your journey? Because we all have a process. A lot of people like going through the process, but the process is necessary. So what did failure teach you on your journey?
It taught me what I like, what I don't like. It taught me to do self-discovery about who I am. It taught me how to do things better. And so I love what I read in the book, Ashley. A woman wrote in a book, she said, when we became adults, we began to call it failure, but when we were children, we called it practice. You practice until you get it right. But it became failure and condemnation when we became adults. So I even reframe it to, if it's what I'm called to do and it doesn't succeed at first, okay, well, I'm practicing, I'm learning, I'm developing, I'm strengthening myself. And guess what? The times that I might have fell or the times that I didn't get it right, now I had even more encouragement, to encourage someone else to keep going because they could do it. It's like Thomas Edison. I haven't failed. I've just found 10,000 ways it won't work. And so out of that, I learned about myself. I learned how to be resilient. I learned, who I am and who I'm not. And so I think failure or practice is a necessary ingredient, whether you're a professional, whether you're an entrepreneur, business owner, whatever your lane is a necessary ingredient, because it'll also mirror who you are not, and help you to, define whatever your niche is or whatever your lane is supposed to be, so you can be excellent in whatever that thing is. And you don't have to try to look at this person and that person and copy off of this person and that person. You can know God gave you a unique set of prints, a unique set of steps, and they're ordered. So that's what I learned during my times of failure, and it was a wonderful thing. I learned absolutely what I love to do and absolutely what I do not want to do, where work is concerned, where ministry is, all of those things. And so as you courageously move forward in life, you'll learn those things about yourself even when you fail, which is really a great lesson. It really is a great lesson.
Yes, it's a lesson learned. That is key.
Absolutely.
That. So you're very, very successful. So what did success teach you on your journey?
To remember where it came from, and that I'm a woman of faith, and so it's God's power working through me. And I don't have to quote a scripture or bring a Bible to bring his presence and every element of who he is into the spaces that I'm in. Just people seeing my passion or kindness and wisdom in action. I'm representing, the God that I serve. And so success has taught me to remember who's given me the power to succeed and the power to prosper and the power to do what I do. And so that way, when a failure does happen or a setback does happen, I go to the source of my success. And then he gives me the wisdom to navigate and to do what I need to do to move to the next level, or to get out of a rut, or to, overcome whatever I'm facing. And so that I also have learned with success, your power grows when you empower others. Holding back or trying to hold other people back gets you nowhere. And so I love empowering others, men and women. But that's what I've learned. Those who are consistently successful share their power, empower others, and understand that you can walk in humility and be successful as well in helping others to be successful.
Yes, walking in humility, staying humble. I love that you highlighted that. That is so important. That is so important.
And staying humble does not mean you hold back your success. And that's
right.
Another reason Emerge was created, so that women could speak it, say it, share it, because I was one of those women for years who was afraid. Like, literally, I didn't realize the fear and the mentality I had. I would even be in job interviews, and it would be hard for me to talk about myself. I would talk about the company, but they would, that I might have worked for, to talk about I did this and I did that and achievements, but it would be more geared toward the company because I was so afraid to talk about my success. And so it's not a dirty word. It's a God-given word, and you should own it. And so, it took years to get there, Ashley. That was one of the failures, failing to articulate my value and fully embrace my value, which closed doors for me. It wasn't somebody who was, hating on me or whatever. Most of the time when I faced the ceiling, it was because of mental shackles that I had. It wasn't, an ethnic group that was holding me back. It wasn't, I'm not saying those things aren't real and don't happen, but most of the times that I was held back, it was my own mentality that I had to work through.
Yes, and I'm glad you shot light on that thing. Don't let anybody hold you back, right? Don't let anybody hold you back. Walk in your purpose. Do it anyway. Do it scared. And you're a prime example of, just jumping out there, taking a risk.
Exactly.
Because a lot of people sleep on their dreams because they're scared to take the risk. They're scared to fail. They're scared of rejection. But that's part of the process.
That's so true. That's so true. It's definitely, I totally agree with you. It's still part of the process.
Yes. So we are in the fourth quarter. What's today? December 3rd. We are getting ready to walk in a new decade. So what can we expect from Qiana the rest of 2019? Because I know that you're going to finish strong.
Yes, and strong for me is actually rest and reflection, to be honest. Everybody has their definition of what finishing strong will look like for them, and busy doesn't necessarily mean strong. I feel like for me, being productive is looking within and, knowing that I'm in alignment with what next steps I'm supposed to be taking, what my year is supposed to look like moving forward, how I'm supposed to be planning out that vision. My relationships, this is a time for me to look at my relationships. This is a time for me to look at how I'm investing my time. So it's really a reflective time for me moving in, where I'm actually turning some things down, turning some things off, and getting quiet to make sure I'm in alignment. That is where my greatest success has come. My greatest failures have come from being outside of alignment with where I'm supposed to be, what I'm supposed to be doing. My greatest success has come from being sensitive to what my time is supposed to be in alignment with, what I'm supposed to be doing and in alignment with. And so I take moving into that new year right now, it's going to be a reflective time for me where I get quiet, I start writing, and planning out, that next year and what alignment looks like for me.
I love that, getting quiet, right? Making sure that you are aligned with the right people, with the right, just that you're just in alignment. That's so important.
Absolutely, absolutely.
We should embrace that part, right? We should all be to have moments where we are in alignment, where we're having that quiet time to make sure that we are in the right spaces, in the right environment, with the right.
There you go. Yes. That's so true. The right space is critical. It's critical to your well-being, your health, emotionally, mentally, your success, being in the right space. And so if we're always on the go and we don't get still, to make sure we're focused and in alignment with the right things and devoting our time to the right things, you can miss out on some key parts, in fulfilling your purpose and all of that. So it's very important.
Yes. So how can our listeners, Qiana, follow you on all social media platforms and connect with you?
You can follow me at emergewomanmagazine.com on Facebook, Instagram, and also I have a fan page as well at Emerge Founder. So you can actually, it's EWM, Emerge Woman Magazine, EWM founder. You can follow me on Facebook there. I'm also on Instagram at Qiana_Cressman. So you'll be able to find me if you go to the Emerge page or go to emergewomanmagazine.com. You'll be able to get, see all the links where you can follow me on social media. But I'd love to hear from you, so please reach out to us. info@emergewomanmagazine.com is our email. It will come directly to me. Also, you can reach us on our Facebook page, Instagram page, any of our social media outlets.
All right, so make sure you connect with Qiana. She's definitely somebody to know, so definitely connect with her, support her. And so, Qiana, I would like to thank you for taking the time out of your very, very busy schedule to come to the table tonight. You are welcome. This has been an amazing interview, and I cannot wait to invite you back to the table.
Oh, thank you so much, Ashley, and I look forward to partnering with you with the magazine as well, because you have an amazing story as well. So thank you again for the honor of being on your great show.
You are welcome, and yes, I look forward to partnering with you, collaborating, working with you in the future. Yes.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. So I would like to give a special thanks to Tammy Collins Marquis and John Schamberger. I would also like to give a special thanks to author Kimberly McLemore and my intern Sarah from Tennessee State University and my intern Vontaria from Winston-Salem State University. You all may follow me on Facebook at Ashley Little and on Instagram at _Ashley A. Little. Thank you.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Creating Your Seat at the Table, where Ashley speaks with corporate professionals, celebrities, entrepreneurs, authors, and speakers who are transitioning or have transitioned to entrepreneurship.